Well, good morning, my Teaserking family. I hope everybody is well this Saturday. A lot of different videos I was watching yesterday and today, so uh, we will see what the heck's going on. A lot of strange things. All right, so gold and silver, we saw gold end right around 3,400. We saw silver 34.30 or whatever, or 38.30. And I played Mark McGuire for you yesterday, and it was really the first time I had seen Mark. I didn't watch the video. Normally, I like to watch it and get the flavor and go, okay, we don't need this, we need that. Yesterday it was like 35 minutes, so I just went through with you, and it was a little confusing. I lost him in the graphs, but then today I watched him. It made a little more sense. He doesn't explain the question, which is why he kind of explains that with the wash and rinse cycle, which means these little guys who come in and short the gold on the options, and then they lose money because the gold price goes up. So they're hoping gold goes down, like Eddie Murphy, right? He sold the orange juice at 142. But had it went up to 200, he'd have lost his ass. Sort of like what the Duke and Duke guy, he was buying it at 102 up to 120, 130. When it ended at 26, they lost a fortune because they had to buy it lower than they sold it, right? Or they had to sell it lower than they bought it because they bought it at 102 and they had to sell it at 30, 40, 50. So keep in mind, in options, you can do revert. You can sell first, then buy. So what he's saying is we're kind of weeding out all those buyers, and therefore the price should go up because we'll start seeing less people shorting it because all the banks are long, which means they all want the price to go up because they're all losing their ass in the options, so they got to make it up. And then there's the Fed buying it. The Fed's the only one shorting it, which makes no sense. Huge demand and everything. I am on day 3 of my fast. I still can't get into my fucking pants, so this might go on a few weeks. Like I said, I had the interview, and I go into I can't get my pants on. I found a pair I could get into, and then I just tried them on now. Now I haven't eaten in 2 days. This is 3 days, and they're still like, no, it ain't happening. How much weight did I gain? God, it's crazy. Anyway, so this is what you have with gold and silver. That's what we do. We buy the gold and silver, then we realize how much we have, and then we're waiting for the price to go up. But we know it will, so that's the key. So that's what Mark was talking about. I think it won't go as fast as we think it should. In other words, the Titanic sunk, it took a while. And everybody's on, knowing this boat's going to sink, but they're being teased because it's what, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. And that's how it is with gold and silver. We know the price is going to go up. We want the price to go up. But it's not going up as fast as it should based on the situation we're in, where the dollars are worthless and you need gold and silver. I have a hard time listening to some people. They just don't get it. They don't know how to explain what's going on. I was watching Michael Oliver, who I hate, and all he does is his charts, and he just doesn't get it. Well, based on the chart, he doesn't get the variables. And that's the problem with most of these guys, Andy Scheckman, all these guys. They don't understand the variables. They don't understand the inflation, and that the gold and silver are the only lifeboat, as I call it. The only out. Right? Otherwise, your dollar is worthless. And no, stocks isn't going to help you, and ETFs, forget about that. Like the girl said yesterday, it's like having 100 tickets to the movie or to the concert, and only 4 people are getting in. That's an ETF. That's why you shouldn't be in them. Just buy physical and watch it go. We'll get more into that later. So let's go into baseball. We'll do our sports first. We like doing that. And let's just review what we had and what won. So we start off. Pittsburgh wins 3-2 over Cincinnati with Kyle Nicolas, don't know, probably a reliever. So we'll leave that alone. We didn't play it. Houston 5, the Yankees 3. We did have that. I think Framber Valdez was pitching, so we won. Houston won 5-3. We had Detroit with Skubal, and they went 6-5. Skubal gave up like 4 runs. Skubal's getting tired. Or he's got an arm problem he's not saying. But Detroit, what should have been a 6-0 win, they were down 5-3 in the 8th inning and came back to win 6-5. But when I looked at California's relievers, me and you could have hit him. He was terrible. But anyway, another winner. Then we have Philly 9, Texas 1. We played Philly over 7.5, even though the play was under. Philly's hitting too good, and Texas normally hits. Sanchez with the 2.36 ERA gives him 1 run, but Philly got 9, and that's what I thought would happen. So I win with Philly over 7 when the bet should have been under, and sometimes that's the hunch I get. Minnesota, I played under 8.5. Joe Ryan against whatchamacallit for Kansas City. Should have been a very low-scoring game, and Minnesota wins 9-4. So I lost that. But Joe Ryan against Seth Lugo, I think, or something. Milwaukee 3-2. I played Milwaukee twice. I played them to win because they're on their streak, and they win 3-2. And I also played Milwaukee under 8 because you had Woodruff with the 2.29 against Senga with the 2.30, and it finally came in. What should have happened happened. So we hit a double. I had Milwaukee for 5 units, the under for 2. But I play them separately. Milwaukee on the streak. I think they're 6 or 7 in a row again. They're the best record in baseball, so they must be the best team if we go according to the Tiger idiots. Cubs 5-0. Matthew Boyd lost, just as I thought, but I didn't play him. Arizona 6-1 over Colorado. We lost. We had Arizona over. Zach Gallen with the 5.31 holds him to 1 run, and that's what I hate is the guy with the 5.31. How the hell does he hold him to 1? Austin Comer gives up 6. Well, that's what we expected, the 6. But we thought more from Colorado. It's shocking there. We played San Diego, and Nick Pivetta 11-4 with the 2.94 against Walker Buehler, 7-6 with the 5.40, and of course Boston wins 10-2. How they got 10 runs on Nick Pivetta, or they scored a bunch in the 8th and 9th when the relievers come in. And then Buehler holds that tough San Diego lineup to 2. So we lost San Diego 10-2. We play Seattle under 7.5. Seattle wins 3-2. Very good. So that's a winner. And our last game was Toronto under 9, and we won. The Dodgers win 5-1. It was Clayton Kershaw against Max Scherzer, a little bit of old Max Scherzer. He pitched well. Kershaw gave up 1 run through 7. So he's 6-2 with the 3.14, but it looks a little bit lower, and Scherzer is starting to get it back. I think we can start betting Scherzer. So 5-1 Dodgers, under 9. So we go 1, 2, 3, 3-1, 4, 5, 7-3 in units. We're up 5, we're up 7, we're up 5, we're up 10, we're up 12, we're up 10, we're up 7, we're up 9, we're plus 11 units. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3. Now, this is how ironic it is. The other day, this so far I've been got 4 and 3, 6 and 2, 4 and 3, 1 and 1, and 7 and 3. And you just get days where everything goes what it should. The theory here, the thesis is the pitching. The second 1A is the streaks. So like Milwaukee, we had the pitching and the streak, and we hit it. But that, you just got to be consistent. You have to understand the managers are idiots. I told my friend, I says, they're like monkeys. Just tell them, oh, the guy's pitched 95 innings, go take him out, and here's a banana. And they pull him. Oh, wait, there's a lefty at the plate. We should pull a lefty in. Let the lefty pitch to the lefty because we know they never get hits. And then, so the managers are incredibly bad. They're incredibly stupid. Like yesterday, okay, Scooble gave up, I think, 4 runs, and he only pitched 5 2/3. He's getting tired or he's got an arm problem. He throws too hard, so he's probably got an arm problem. But that doesn't mean he can't pitch the complete game as he should have. They got lucky to win. They were down 5 to 3 in the 8th. They got a 3-run homer because the California bullpen grooved the ball down the middle. It's the only way the Tigers can hit. So keep that in mind. So let's go to 8-9, which is today. It's 11-19. The first game's at 1:15, so we actually have time. Miami and Atlanta. Miami 110-9. Ryan Gusto 7-4, 4.92 against Hunter Waldrep. Now I looked up Hunter Waldrep. He's only pitched 1 game this year, so we got to ignore him. He's normally, I think he pitched a couple games last year, and he had a high ERA. So I don't know what to do with this. Miami's favored. I don't know. And over under. No, I don't know. I don't want to play that one. Houston goes to the Yankees. Oh, we got Framber Valdez today. Okay, so they had somebody else yesterday. 11-5 with the 2.83 against Lewis Gill. 0-1 with a 13.50 ERA, which I assume had gave up a lot of runs in 2 or 3 innings. I'm going to go with Houston again. We got the Frommer out there. They won yesterday. New York's having their problems. Actually, Houston's the better team. They're 65-51, and New York's 61-55. Now, again, they play Boston and Toronto and Tampa, Baltimore. They play good teams, unlike the Tigers. Houston, they got Seattle and Texas to worry about. So, yeah, this is a pretty even matchup, but we'll go with the better pitcher. Washington goes to the 49ers. We got the 49ers 165-8. Brad Lord 2-6, 3.42. Carson Weisenhunt 1-0 at the 4.35. I'll pass. Thank you. California at Detroit. Detroit 148.5. We got Yuzi Kikuchi 5-7 with the 3.22 against Charlie Morton 7-9 with the 5.20. Let's see how good Charlie Morton is. So let's look at Charlie's last 6 games. He's given up to Philly. He gave 6 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 run to Philly, which is impressive. Toronto, he gave up in 6 innings, 3 runs. Cleveland in 6 innings, 3 runs. Tampa in 5 innings, 7 runs. Mets 6 innings, 1 run. Atlanta 5 innings, 2 runs, and Texas 5 innings, 3 runs. So he's got 3 threes, a 7, and a pair of aces. It's weird because the pair of aces were against Philly and the Mets, and then Tampa, Cleveland, Toronto, Texas, he gave up 3. So I look for him to give up runs. And again, I think that was his first game with Detroit. UC Kitsuki, 5-7 with 3.22. Is Detroit hitting? I don't know what to do with this game because Charlie Morton basically sucks. He's got a 5.2 ERA and he's 50 years old. Can we trust him? All right, buddy had a good game against Philly, but I don't smell what he's cooking yet. Too many threes on his resume, and he only pitches 5-6 innings. UC Kikuchi is 5-7 with a low ERA, so I don't want to go over in the game. I'm tempted to take it California because Detroit is playing like shit. Even with Skubal on the mound, they should have lost. So I can't bet Detroit to win here. The better pitchers, clearly California's. They don't have much hitting. So I'm going to leave this alone. My guess on this game is I think I would take California to win, but I'm not going to bet it. I can't take Detroit with Charlie Morton. So who are they kidding? 7-9 with the 5.20, and you want, oh yeah, let me bet on that guy. So California, but I'm just gonna mark it down, but no bet. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, Cincy 110-8. Nick Martinez 9-9 with the 4.66. Braxton Ashcraft 3-2 with the 3.24. I thought he was on Cincinnati, Ashcraft. Well, they have an Ashcraft too. 3-2 with the 3.24. Yeah, I don't like it. Pittsburgh's normally an under team. They don't hit, but I'm going to leave that alone. Oakland and Baltimore. Oakland 102-9. Jack Perkins 0-2 with a 3.97. Who the hell is this guy? Brandon Young 0-5 with a 5.88. Again, I'm going to go Oakland over, but I'm not going to bet it over 9. It's just I can't trust the pitchers to make the bet on it. KC goes to Minnesota in what we should have been a low-scoring game with Joe Ryan. It wasn't. We got KC 115, 8.5. Noah Cameron 5-5 with a 2.68 against Bailey Over from Pitt, 4-6 with the 5.38. I'm going to let this go. Both teams trying to catch Detroit, which they should do soon, but I'm not going there. The Mets in Milwaukee. We don't have a pitcher, but we're going to take Milwaukee on their 6-7 game win streak, 2 units. So we don't know who it is. But we don't, unless Tom Seaver or Nolan Ryan comes out for the Mets, I feel comfortable with Milwaukee. 71-44. Best record in baseball. Oh, they must be the best team because they have the best record. God, what stupid logic. I'm talking about the Detroit radio guy. Oh, they have the best record. They're the best team. Jesus Christ, what a bunch of morons. Cleveland against Chicago. Cleveland 6-back. They won yesterday. They're hot. Joey Cantillo, 2-2 with 4.37. Sean Burke, 4-8 with the 4.23. The White Sox aren't that bad. Probably their last 40 games, they're probably above 500. So again, you look at the total record, 42-74. But like I do in football, if you just look at the last 20, 25 games in football, we look at the last 6, 7, and then you see the real team. I would think Cleveland has to win. They're rolling. Let's see if we have a streak with them. Miami against Atlanta again. Doubleheader. Miami 115, 8.5. Sandy Alcantara 6-10 with a 6.44, but I think he's pitching better. Eric Fetty for Atlanta 3-12 with a 5.32. I hate these doubleheaders to play them now because you got to see how the first game goes and how many bullpen guys they pitch, and if it's high scoring, the guys are hitting or not. So I'm going to lay away from this. But I would take Miami in game 2. Eric Fetty, 3-12. Holy shit. The Cubs at St. Louis. The Cubbies 110-9. Colin Ray, who was a 2 ERA, is now a 4.23 ERA. So he's been sucking lately. Andre Palantine, 6-8 with the 4.57. This has got to be an over, but I have no idea. So we'll let it go. Philly at Texas. Texas 137.5. Jesus Lazario 10-5 with the 4.32. Against Jacob DeCrown 10-4 with a 2.80. Yesterday I played the game over, even though there was two good pitchers, and it should have went under, and it went over, and we won, and we're happy. What do I do today against DeGrom? I don't think Philly's going to hit him. Lazario 10-5 with a 4.32. I'm going to go under with this one. Philly under 7.5, and I really, I don't know. I think this is an over, but I'm going to play it under. I just think DeGrom, he had a bad game a game or two ago. But the fact Texas didn't hit yesterday, I think this stays lower. Colorado, Arizona. Again, these are touch games. These are field games. Arizona, Colorado. Arizona 229.5. Bradley Blaylock 1-3 with the 7.68. Eduardo Rodriguez 4-7 with the 5.33. I played this game over yesterday, and it didn't. It didn't stay over. It was there was an under. It was like 7-1. Arizona won. Colorado didn't hit, even though there are two bad pitchers. So I'm going to ignore this because Colorado was hitting, but I don't know what to do. When they scored run yesterday, I don't think they're not hitting, so I'm not going to mess with it. Boston, San Diego. We had San Diego, and they lost with one of their aces. San Diego won 145, 7.5. Luis Giolano 8-2 with the 3.57. Michael King 4-2 with the 2.59. Boston beat him 10-1, so Boston's hitting. Michael King, I don't know, two pretty low pitchers, but you got the bullpen. We know San Diego's bullpen sucks from watching the All-Star game. I'm going to go over this. This is going to be like the Philly game. I'm going to go over 7.5. Just that Boston's hitting. San Diego's lineup is full. I think Giuliano's 8-2 with the 3.57. I think he'll pitch well, but I think we get to the bullpen, and that's the problem. Michael King 4-2 with the 2.59. I don't smell what he's cooking. Let's look at Michael King. So he gives up 4 runs to Seattle. This is last 5. He gives up 3 runs to California, 2 runs to the Yanks. And he was better before. 1 run to the Niners, 1 run to Tampa, 2 runs to Houston. So the last 3 games is 2.34. The problem is when you look at his whole ERA, you're taking in these. He had a 1.120 the 4 before that. So that's where he looks good. But then now he actually pitched a complete game against Colorado. They won 6-0. Mostly 5-inning guy, which means you go to the bullpen. See San Diego's bullpen is not good. All right, so I'm going to go over in the game. Toronto at the Dodgers. The Dodgers 178.5. Chris Bassett 11-5, 4.12 is really good. Blake Snell 1-1 with the 3.21. I'm going to take Toronto here. I don't think I'll bet it though. I'm just going to take Toronto. I have a hunch. In our last game, Tampa Bay, Seattle. Seattle 145-8. Joe Boyle 1-1 with the 2.30. Logan Evans 5-4 with the 4.30. Seattle's been hot. Tampa Bay. Joe Boyle. Let's see who Joe Boyle is. I thought pitchers are going every 10th day. 25 pitches wouldn't get hurt, right? So Joe Boyle against the Dodgers, 5 innings, shut him out. Against the Yankees, 3 innings, 6 runs. The White Sox, 3 innings. So this guy pitches like 3 innings. Is he a reliever? Um, I don't know. He's a 3-inning, 4-inning guy. Oh, you went to Notre Dame. Well, that makes all the difference. If he's a touchdown Jesus guy, how can you not bet on him? I'm going to leave that alone. So let's review. We got Houston today, Framber Valdez. Apparently he's pitching yesterday and today, 2 units. Kale, no bet, but I like. Oakland over 9, no bet, and I like. Milwaukee on their streak, 2 units. Philly under 7.5, 2 units, and Boston over 7.5, 2 units. So I got 4 plays. Let's look at the streaks. Is there anything else? I don't think there's a lot on the streaks. Cleveland's on a 4-game winning streak. So let's add Cleveland to the mix. Their pitching's not great, but they're hot. They're trying to catch. They're only 6 games behind the Tigers. So Detroit's starting to choke, and Cleveland's starting to show how good they are. Detroit's really a homer. They're 38-23 at home and 29-27 on the road. So it's just they're better at home for some reason. I don't know why. The White Sox are on a 5-game losing streak. Okay, so they're playing each other. So Cleveland's on the winning streak. The White Sox on the losing streak. We've got Seattle on a 5-game winning streak. So let's add Seattle for 2 units. It's kind of a weird pitching matchup, so we'll add them. The Mets are on a 5-game losing streak. I don't think we played them or played against them. Here's Milwaukee on another 7-game win streak, 71-44, 5 up on the Cubs. And they're 5 up on the Phillies. And they're 4.5 up on the Dodgers. Interesting. Go Milwaukee. What a team. It's a team you don't know. You got good odds because nobody knows them, so nobody bets them. Again, on a 7-game win streak. So let's make Milwaukee. Let's go 3 units on Milwaukee because they're hot. And that's it. In a 5-game losing streak, Colorado. They're playing Arizona, who kind of sucks. All right, we'll leave Colorado alone. They'll probably lose. I mean, teams like Colorado, Arizona, they get hot, they get cold. San Diego, who knows? The Dodgers were cold. Every team gets hot and cold. So I think we have that. All right. I did my sheet yesterday on the NFL, and I'm just going to do it to pencil in. So those are my baseball. Houston, Milwaukee, Philly under 7.5, Boston over 7.5, Cleveland and Seattle. Cleveland, Seattle, Milwaukee on win streaks. Philly, they're facing an ace and DeGrom, and I'm not going to fuck with an over there. Boston, they're facing a good pitcher, but not that good. And then Houston, Framber Valdez. So again, I kind of like California. The way they hit school, they should have no problem today. And Detroit's not hitting. They're getting a little hits, but against a very bad bullpen. So I'm not betting it because I think Detroit maybe wins it in the 8th or the 9th because they play, let's foul the ball off 25 times so that we tire out the pitcher because we can't hit. We're not good enough to hit. All right. That's why they're phonies because they don't have anybody. They don't have a 300 hitter. All right. I like to talk about the world's strangest game. Detroit 17-10. Now, we actually win the bet because we're over 26.5. So we get a winner there. What the fuck is this? A guy gets hurt, start of the 4th quarter. I guess he hurts his neck or his head, either concussion or something with his neck. And all the players are crying. Like, dudes, it's football. People get hurt, right? And they don't hike the ball the rest of the game. They run the clock down. What a bunch of bullshit that is. They're just sitting there. The refs are not calling delay game. They're not running downs. They're not running plays. From 14 minutes down to 6 minutes, they just sat there. What the fuck is that? What is going on? You don't do that. You play the game. You might get injured. That's the risk you play. If you go skiing, you might break your leg. That's the risk you take. Then don't go skiing. The risk in football, you're going to get hurt. It's not a secret. And to react like that, I thought both teams were just really weak. These teams are not going to be good at all. The Lions, Mr. Hard Ass, bite their kneecaps, and they just don't play. This is preseason. Play. Oh no, the guy got hurt. We can't play. What the hell? I remember Dick Butkus and the Bears played the Lions at home, and Butkus hit the tight end over the middle so hard, he killed him. He killed the guy, right? He's on the field. Butkus hits him. He's dead. Did they stop the game? Not at all. They carted him off, and the game continued. He killed him. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, well, it's preseason. Oh, well, yeah, but what are you doing? Well, it was such a bad injury, I couldn't play anymore. Then, there's a grocery store. There's McDonald's. Enjoy working there. What a bunch of fucking crybabies. This is as bad as that Buffalo-Cincinnati game they canceled. What the fuck is going on in football? Well, the guy got hurt. Well, okay. I'm sorry, but Hutchinson got hurt, broke his leg. They kept playing. You don't stop the game for an injury. I don't care. I understand it's a bad injury, supposedly. Who knows? We don't know what it is. But you can't stop the game, and everybody gets together at midfield, and they hold hands. Like, what the fuck am I watching? This is football. I've never seen a game stop like that. Maybe the Buffalo-Cincinnati game where they just stopped the game. Are you insane? I was like really put off by it. Now, I had already won, but I don't think I win because the game didn't get completed. So was it because everybody bet the over in a teaser, or Detroit won? Did everybody bet on Detroit laying the 3 or 4 and they were going to lose? Because that's usually what happens. It's Vegas that makes the decision. Yeah, we're going to lose. So let's end the game at 6 minutes. And then it's not a complete game. We don't have to pay anybody. Just like the All-Star game. No, it's a tie. We're going to end it in a tie. The fuck is that? Why did the Raider game end in a tie? What is going on with these leagues? It's a tie. I thought we couldn't have ties. We don't want to get anybody hurt. Oh, poor babies. So the world's strangest game. So let's look at the scores yesterday. Cleveland with Prime Jr. beats a terrible Carolina team 30-10. Detroit beats Atlanta 17-10 in 3 quarters. New England 48, Washington 18 without Penix. So let's go through who played. So Prime Jr. plays 14 of 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks. Huntley plays, I think he's from Utah, 6 of 8, 51 yards, and a touchdown. Sounds like a really good Carolina defense. So we got Cleveland, we got Prime Jr., we got Huntley, we've got Flacco, we've got Gabriel, and we got Pickett. We got anybody else we can pick up at the grocery store. Is there Carolina? Andy Dalton. Now, why isn't Andy Dalton the starter? We got Dalton. He goes 13 of 19, 100 yards, 1 interception, 2 sacks. We got Plummer. All I know is Jake Plummer, but he was in the 80s for Arizona State. And we got Steve Young. And Steve goes 4 of 6 for 58 yards and a touchdown. So don't get all carried away like Prime Jr. and Young are any good. Again, it's a preseason game. We'll see. He got 2 touchdowns. Let's see the highlights. Then we'll know. Cleveland rushing. Marshall 8 for 32. Again, I don't think they have their one Nick Chubb. I don't think he's there anymore. So they're in trouble. Oh, Prime Jr., 4 rushes for 19 yards. Huntley, 6 for 10. Okay. Oh, so Prime Jr. wants to be a runner. Oh, okay. Carolina, Chuba Hubbard, 3 for 10. Dowdell, they got from Dallas, 3 for 7. Entonine, they got from Jacksonville, 2 for 3. Blackshear, Virginia Tech, 1 for nothing. Receivers, Cleveland, no idea. Never heard of them. Canella, Bates, Gloria. Carolina, receivers, McMillan, the number 1 pick from Arizona State, or maybe, yeah, I think he's there. No, he's Arizona. Yeah, good luck with that, fellas. Luther, D. Moore, DJ Moore's on Chicago. Jay Mitchell, Dowdell, Coker Horn, Entonine, 1. Thielen, 1 for 10. So not much there. I don't expect these teams to win. All right. Let's go to Detroit and Atlanta. Detroit 17-10. Again, these are 3-quarter stats. And we hit the over just before the guy died. 17-10, 27. We're 26 and a half. It was 32 and a half. I think it went to 33 and a half. This is why I bet early. Once I figure out the game, I get it in as quick as I can. Detroit. We've got Golf. We've got Allen. And we've got Hooker. Hooker doesn't look that good. Allen looked better than he did last week. Allen was 7 of 8, 120. Hooker 7 of 10. But the problem is 38 yards. He's not throwing the ball. Allen 2 touchdowns and 2 sacks. Hooker 1 sack. Hooker wants to run too much. I think this offense is not a good fit for him. He needs to go to a different team where he can excel. He's a very good quarterback. Atlanta, Stick, the guy from San Diego who sucks. So where's Atlanta? All right, so we start with Penix, but he didn't play. We got Stick, who's not that good, and Emory Jones, who's terrible. Stick 15 of 18, 1 touchdown, 1 sack. Jones 4 of 5, 49 yards and a sack. Again, it's hard because they're playing 3rd and 4th stringers. Detroit running Sailors. Never heard of him. 9 for 35. I think he's from Eastern Tennessee or Middle Tennessee. He's not from Middle Tennessee State. So it's a Division II guy. So they gave him the ball 9 times, 35 yards. Hooker ran. Reynolds 6 of 15. Yeah, Keenan Allen or whatever his name is, the quarterback, Kyle Allen. Atlanta and Carter 3 of 12. They have an E. Jones 2 of 9, and Dotson. Don't know. No receivers. And Atlanta, I don't think they played their receivers. So we learned very little in this game, except if somebody gets injured, we stop the game. What a bunch of babies. I get the guy got hurt. He had to go to the hospital. But how is that different than any other game where the guy gets hurt? You don't quit. That's what I'm pissed at is they quit. And they let the clock run. And what was that? This is fucking football. Guys get hurt in baseball. They get beamed. They don't stop the game. Oh, my God, it's such a bad injury. We got to quit. I got to quit. I can't play anymore because this guy got hurt. What is that? Yeah, so the Lions coach, Mr. Macho, bullshit. What a wimp. Okay, Washington. Well, we start off, we know we got Penix. I know we got Daniels. He's the ace in the hole. Then we got Jay Johnson, who absolutely sucks, and I can't believe on the team. But to my surprise, Hartman was playing. So that's why nobody's playing Hartman, and he's at the wrong team because he's not going to get action. Hartman, 9 of 19, 64 yards, 1 interception. Jay Johnson, 15 of 22, 173 yards. Now, why aren't they using Hartman more? 1 touch and 1 interception. So this is what Johnson stinks. Hartman's good. What are you not doing it? New England. We know we got Drake May. We got Woodbridge. He's like from Western Kentucky or one of these passing conference guys, I think. We got Joshua Dobbs. Can't believe he's still in the league. And Drake May. Drake May, 3 of 5 for a whopping 12 yards. Superstar quarterback. 1 sack for 15 yards. So he's trying to run around, and they caught him. Joshua Dobbs, 5 of 12, another superstar, 45 yards. And Woodridge, 9 of 12 for 132 yards and a touchdown. So you got 2 interceptions, one from Johnson and Hartman on Washington. I'm trying to figure out how they scored so much. You then have Washington, Felton. That's about it. It's hard. New England, Stevenson ran. Tyreek Henderson, 1 for 18 yards. Oh, look how good he is. Yeah, he got 1 for 18. Drake made 2 for 16. Dobbs, 1 for 2. Receiving. Gallup, Sanders, KJ Osborne, I've heard of. Luke McCaffrey, I don't know. Brooks, 5 for 59. I don't know who he is. New England, good luck. Looks like they hit some big passes, but not for touchdowns. Okay, so I need to go into the box score and figure out how they put up 48 points. Washington kicked off. Travion Henderson returned it for 100 yards. What the fuck is that? Drake May rushed to the left for a 5-yard touchdown. A couple of field goals, another field goal. Joshua Dobbs rushed up the middle for a 2-yard. Jeremy Nichols rushed to the left for a 2-yard for Washington. Ben Woolridge passed to Eflin Chisholm for a 12-yard touchdown. And then Terrell Jennings rushed to the left. Josh Johnson, the fabulous quarterback, instead of Hartman. And Len Larson rushed to the left for 2. Who the hell are you? I don't know how they scored all their points unless there was a bunch of fumbles, but I'm not going to get into that. It's preseason. So Washington, now here's how I take the game versus what you guys do. I look at this as where's Washington's defense? Now, when Daniels is playing, he ball controls the ball. Cliff Kingsbury, great offensive coach. So he's going to ball control the ball, which helps the defense rest, and the other team doesn't have the ball. And he doesn't turn it over. So the defense is weak, but not that weak. But they'll probably be an over team. New England, I totally ignore the 48 points. There had to be a lot of turnovers against a very weak defense. I will be happily taking Oakland week 1 over New England. I don't think, look how good New England is. They got 48. Yeah, relax, guys. Detroit, Atlanta, their defense didn't look that good. Again, they didn't have Penix in the game. Detroit offense looked a little better, but it was a weak Atlanta. Atlanta was running the ball a lot for some reason. Cleveland, Carolina, I am not going to look at Prime Jr. and go, oh, he's the man. Flacco will be starting, I'm sure, in the first few weeks. Maybe after 4 or 5, then you go to Dylan Gabriel or Pickett if they're available. But they're both injured. So Prime Jr. gets in there and he, they probably laid down for him and let him score, so his dad would be proud. Okay, back to Thursday night, Oakland, Seattle, and I'm just doing this to get the quarterbacks. All right, Oakland. We've got Geno Smith. We've got O'Connell, who sucks. And we got Miller. It's Miller time. O'Connell, 18 of 30, 1 touch and 2 picks. Yeah, that's about O'Connell. Seattle, they have Darnold, who's a backup. You got Drew Lock from Missouri, who's really good. And you got Milrose, who absolutely blows. Can't believe they wasted a pick. 6 of 10 for 61 yards with Milrose. And 1 sack for 10 yards. And Milrose thinks he's a running back, 3 for 38. Oh, that's why we got Milrose, so he can run for more yards than he throws for. Not good. All right. So what do I get out of that? Not a lot. Milrose stinks, but we already know that. Seattle, weak defense. Everybody loves the coach. I don't love the coach. I think he's terrible. Oakland, there you love Coach Pete. So I'm expecting them to be in the games. They should have won the game. They got the kick blocked at the end, or they win. Philly 34, Cincinnati 27. Well, it's Burrow. He's number 2 to Mahomes. And then what do we got? We got the Riddler. We got Burrow, Riddler, and Browning. So they're in trouble if Burrow goes down. Browning sucks. He was at Washington. He sucked, and now he's kicked around the league. Philadelphia, we got Hurts. Then we go to Thompson Robinson. And then McCord, who I don't know what he's doing out there. So I don't get it. You got guys out to give them playing time, but they suck. They can't even make the other thing. They can't even make the USFL. And we've got Baltimore at Indy. All right, so Indy, we've got Richardson. We've got Riley Leonard is the second in my mind. And then we got Daniel Jones, who I don't know why is in the league. Daniel Jones goes 10 of 21, 144. Riley Leonard, 11-24 for 92 and an interception. Baltimore, we go to Lamar, like LeBron. Then we got Devin Leary, who absolutely sucks. And then we got Cooper Rush, who should be the starter there. If you started Cooper Rush and you put Lamar at slot receiver, they'd win. Unfortunately, that's not what you got. And Baltimore, we're going to put Ali as the running back, who's very, very tough to tackle. And Indy's got Riley Leonard as their running back, apparently. All right, so let's look at today's games. We got the Giants at Buffalo. Buffalo 2.5, 37.5. We know Josh Allen's not playing. The Giants are probably going to play because who do they got? So, they got Russell Wilson, actually. So I don't know if we'll see Russell Wilson. Maybe he should be playing because he's got to get reps with the new team. And he's not going to – you want him to do that week 1 or do you want him to do it in a game? And these practices, like when they play other teams, they're in shorts and a T-shirt. there's no tackling. I don't even know if you can rush the quarterback. So you're trying to get them acclimated by being in a scrimmage in shorts. And the team's controlling it. So nobody's coming in and taking hits. The quarterback, so he can't get used to getting hit, getting pressured, and nobody can hit. So the tackling sucks. So if you're thinking the practices take the thing of the games, you're out of your mind. So I don't know what to do with this one. I don't know. It's hard to say. Buffalo without Josh Allen is nothing. So maybe the Giants are a live dog, but I'm not going to bet it. Houston, Minnesota 5.5, 38.5. Will they play J.J. McCarthy? They should. He needs work. He's always injured. So I guess him and the backup, we'll see who the backups are. Houston, C.J. Stroud, God knows he needs the work. Good defense. Not much else. Wide receivers, did he get suspended or something or hurt? Houston's just a good defensive team. They're good under. Minnesota, the same thing. Why they go to McCarthy with Justin Jefferson blows my mind. You had Darnold. Leave him in. I know, 14-2 wasn't good enough for you? Yeah, I know he choked in the playoffs. McCarthy's never been, so he's not your answer. Pittsburgh or Jacksonville, will Aaron Rodgers play? I don't know. Maybe a series. Jacksonville, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is playing. Even if he does, he sucks. Pick could be a live dog here, getting 10.5, but we don't know they're bad. We got to, is Winston on the team or, who's where? Dallas at the Rams. Dallas 1.5. We know Stafford's not playing because of his back. 33.5. This is one of my plays. I did take. I had Detroit over 26.5 and the Rams plus 9.5. It's gone down to 1.5. I like the Rams here as a home dog. Why is Dallas favored? Who can they beat? They're not a good team. They're not gonna, So Micah Parsons, ain't playing, and the receivers probably aren't playing. Dak Prescott is terrible anyway. I don't know who their backup is. And the Rams, Stenson Benson, and I think who's the other guy that Garoppolo, who sucks, but they keep everybody keeps trying him because he's got experience. So I like the Rams there. Tennessee, Tampa. Tennessee 3-point favorite, 32.5. I like Tampa with Kyle Trask, excellent quarterback out of Florida, a great backup. Tennessee doesn't even have a good starter. Tampa at home, I like Tampa getting 9. That is a bet. Kansas City, Arizona. Kansas City 2.5, 39.5. They are playing all their starters in the first quarter. Andy Reid. Now, the other 3 quarters you got to worry about, but you're still going to run his offense, and you're still going to play to win because that's how they do it. Arizona, I doubt Kyler Murray plays. I love Kansas City here. I got them at 1.5. As soon as I heard Mahomes was playing, they were getting 1.5. Now they're giving 2.5. Still like Kansas City here, getting 3.5. Mahomes will give you 14, and I don't know what Kyler Murray is going to do. And they're playing to win. If they're playing, they're starters. Not Mahomes, they're starters. You listen in Detroit, you don't play anybody. So got to love Kansas City here. The Jets against Green Bay. Now, conversely, the Jets are playing their starters, so I like Green Bay because the Jets don't have anybody. Fields, oh my God. I ended up going over on this game because I like the coach of Green Bay has a good offense. So it doesn't matter if Love plays or not, and then they're going to go to their backup, who's okay, where he's from. Am I going to lose my fucking internet again? God damn it. So I can't remember the guy, but he's good. And it's the offensive style that's good. So I like on the offense there, I do like Green Bay to score a lot on this wonderful Jet defense. And the Jets with Fields, good luck. We got over 32.5. So I took KC with Green Bay. Green Bay over. Denver and the Niners. Denver 6.5, 36.5. I don't know what to do in this game. I doubt Bo Nix will play, although I do like Sean Payton. I'm sure he's playing to win. The Niners, Purdy should play. I don't know. McCaffrey won't because of the injury, but he's feeling better. They got to get work with the receivers. They have no receivers. Ayuk is hurt. Maybe Jennings, who caught some big passes last year, maybe he'll be there. I don't like their Persall. I don't think he's any good. So it's a good game. I'm not going to play it. Miami against the Bears. The Bears 35.5. I'm afraid of Tyler Banjan. Banjan is much better than Caleb. So I think the Bears are going to score with Banjan. Miami, Tua's not playing. I don't know who their backups are. So it's a game I don't want anything to do with. And then Sunday. Oh, that was Sunday. So everything was Saturday except Miami, Chicago Sunday. And then New Orleans goes to San Diego. New Orleans is a 1-point favorite, 36.5. I love San Diego. So my bets, I had Detroit over with, I got the Rams as a dog tonight. I have Tampa and San Diego as home dogs. And I got Kansas City with Green Bay over. And yesterday I had Oakland and Cincinnati. We lost with Cincinnati. It's funny. I had Oakland, Cleveland to start. And little I knew that Cleveland would win. But Carolina, that's the point. Carolina's so bad. So we will pencil this in as we go. These are the backup quarterbacks. So we know how to bet weeks 2 and 3. And that's football. So be very careful if I give you picks. Oh, fuck off. So that's it. So again, we'll see the backups. We'll see what the Giants should be better with Scatterboo and Russell Wilson. However, they won't be better in the preseason. Houston, they need a lot of help. Minnesota, they're banking on McCarthy. But what I want to see is who's their backups. Pitt and Jacksonville. Aaron Rodgers should be gold with Metcalf. Jesus. Jacksonville's going to suck with Trevor Lawrence. Dallas is going to suck with Prescott. The Rams will be gold with Stafford and Pukanuka and Devontae Adams and a good running back and a good defense. I look for the Rams to win that division, them and the Niners. Tennessee will suck. Tampa's pretty good with the Baker, and if they need, Kyle Trask is really good. KC, Arizona. KC's got to be flat. They've been to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row, which means they played 3 or 4 extra games a year. The first game, the conference championship game, the week off, and then the Super Bowl. So they're playing an extra month over everybody else. It's got to catch up with them. But because they lost the Super Bowl, they are motivated somehow. So this will be a curious season for them. The Jets in Green Bay. Green Bay, they just don't. The coach is a good offensive coach. He's not a good head coach. The defense is weak. The Jets might not win a game. Denver they could challenge KC this year. Very good. Bo Nix is very good. The defense is very good, and they added Greenlaw from Frisco. They need receivers. McCaffrey's back. We'll see how their defense is. It's got to be. Well, I think they still have Boza. Boza left San Diego. Miami and the Bears. Miami sucks. The Bears suck. New Orleans and San Diego. They could have had Brock Bowers. They fucked up. They got a lineman from Notre Dame, though. That'll help them. New Orleans is going to suck. They should start Haener. He's their best quarterback. Rattler, what's he doing on the team? And then you've got the new guy, Tyler Shaw from Texas Tech, and then Louisville last year, who's pretty good. Indy, Baltimore. Baltimore will choke in the big games. Indy's going to suck. Philly, Cincinnati. Philly, the best team. Cincinnati will be much improved this year. Probably will win that division. Oakland and Seattle. Oakland should be a little better. I'm a little worried about their defense, but offensively, with Chip Kelly, they're going to score. Seattle, their coach is terrible. Darnell, I don't know who he is. He doesn't have Jefferson this year, and we saw him when they put pressure on him. He choked. Seattle, forget it, or that's what I was talking about. Cleveland, Carolina, two bad teams. Cleveland, they're not going to use Prime Jr. Flacco, he'll be good for a little. Question is Dylan Gabriel when he gets in there. Carolina, them and the Jets will play it out for the one win. Detroit, Atlanta. Detroit's in big trouble. The new coordinators, I don't know. I think their offense will suffer. Their defense will definitely suffer. Atlanta, okay, Penix is the straw that stirs the drink, and you added the two guys on defense, the guy from Georgia and the guy from Tennessee, and that should make a huge difference for Atlanta. Washington, they're right up there. Them, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and the Rams are right there with Daniels. Good luck. You can't stop them. New England is not 48 points. We'll see. They might win 5 or 6 games. Drake Mays is not it. We'll see. I do trust that the defense will be better with the coach, who I'm blanking on, but they will be definitely much better. All right. That is preseason football. Please be careful. You don't want to bet a lot. And hopefully you won't get fucked in any games like you did last night if you had the Lions. You got fucked because notice how they ended the game with 6 minutes left. They were letting the clock run, and then they get a call like suspend the game. So the game's suspended. You don't cash your ticket. It sucks, but that's what happens in a fixed game. They obviously got called that they should not keep playing. We'll use the injuries the excuse, and so they didn't play, and then they suspended the game. Why didn't they why would they let the clock run, first of all? I've never seen that. Go take a knee like they did in that one movie. Anyway, so just be careful. All right. Now we're going to have fun. We got Stoic. We got Bitcoin Gold. We got all this shit. So I am going to go. So I haven't seen this one. I'm not going to go into it. U.S. issues record $100 billion in T-bills. Nobody's buying them. Is he stealing money from the Bitcoiners or the stable coins? I don't like this Trump. He's turning into a real bastard. He's turning into a liar. He just wants to, I'm the best president that ever was. I'm the best this, I'm the best that. Sounds like a real conceited, what do you call those guys? What are they? They're like, they're the best, right? How can you sell T-bills when nobody's buying them? Well, he's gonna force people to buy. Who's gonna buy their debt? So it's very strange. All right. Trump's going to extort $15,000 if you want to visit here, but it's not as it seems. It's from certain countries. So if you want to visit here, and your friend's probably from the Middle East or somewhere, maybe even India, he wants a $15,000 bond to come into to visit. What the fuck is that? Are you kidding me? All right, we've got. All right, we're going to start with Egon, some good news, a short, and then we'll get into the housing market crashing.
Many people believe that Bitcoin is an alternative, or cryptocurrencies are an alternative to gold. In our view, that is not the case. You cannot beat money that has existed for thousands of years with some electronic money on a memory stick or in a computer that in itself has no intrinsic value. In our view, Bitcoin could certainly go to $1 million, but it could also go to zero. And that's a risk that you don't want to take for wealth preservation. Bitcoin might work as a payment system, might work as a speculative investment, but it doesn't work as a wealth preservation asset. So therefore, do not hold cryptocurrencies for wealth preservation. Hold gold or some silver that you actually have possession of yourself in a safe vault, in a safe jurisdiction. That you will not achieve electronic money. Thus, gold is the only real wealth preservation asset there is.
Don't mix pink salt.
So what's he really talking about when he says that? Well, what are we worried about? And this is the whole purpose of what I do. We're worried that this is worthless. We know it's worthless. I use the Titanic to really explain it, but you cannot keep printing this and not backed by anything. This will not hold value. And this is true in the whole world. The British pound, the euro, the Swiss franc, Chinese yuan, the ruble, all these will not hold value. They don't have a value because they're just paper. They're just monopoly money. And so what do you do to protect yourself? And that's what I tell you, buy gold and silver. Reason, they can't be printed or inflated. Gold and silver really can't lose their value. Gold and silver are going to basically always be there, and they're going to keep their value because they can't be printed. Why does this lose their value? Is because you print them. You keep printing to pay for your debt, to pay for your government, pay the mafia off, to steal. You keep printing this to keep your expenses. Oh, I need $1 million, Oh, we'll just print money. Oh, I got to pay the debt. Well, we'll just print money. I got to pay the Social Security. Well, we'll just keep printing money. You can't. You keep printing money, it goes to zero. You can keep printing money, but the value of the money goes down. That's what he means by wealth preservation. We get to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has no value. The fact that it's worth 100,000 does not mean that's the value. You can't take Bitcoin and go to the store and use it. It's not money because it's got to be accepted. So what is Bitcoin? Like he said, it's a computer stick or something that is a very high risk. It's more of a collectible than it is a money. It can't be used to buy and sell goods. So therefore, I know a pizza place that I can use it, because the guy wants to get Bitcoin, but it's just a Ponzi scheme, and you've got to understand that. So if you're saving, and this is where I get at you, Luke, in the stocks, if you're mixing apples and oranges. We buy gold because we want to protect ourselves, because we know the dollar is collapsing. So what do we say? Get off the dollar, get off the Titanic. And in deck one is stocks, and deck two is the bonds, and deck three is the cryptos, and deck four is the real estate. And basically they're all crashing, and none of them are, they're all paper, they're all relied on the dollar, and they're all going to crash. The boat's still sinking. That's why you get into gold and silver. So when I hear you buying stocks, I scratch my head going, what are you doing? That's not preserving wealth, because the stock market is going to crash. A lot of it is when the dollar crashes, everybody will need money. They'll sell their stocks. They don't, oh, wait, this is a gold or silver miner stock, I'm going to hold it. They're going to sell it. And that's the thing. And gold will save you. And that's the whole point of this thing. You're trying to preserve your wealth. You got $500,000. You don't want to lose it. So you get out of dollars, or if they're in a 401k, you get out of the stock and you buy gold and silver with it, because otherwise you're going to lose your money in stocks, bonds, real estate, or dollars. And that's the point. And that's what he's hammering home. You can't, he doesn't say it because he doesn't understand it. You can't print or inflate gold and silver. It comes out of the mine and that's it. And the demand is going to be huge because as all these Euros start going bankrupt, what do you think they're going to buy? What do you think the people in Germany and France, Italy are going to buy? In the UK, they're all buying gold and silver. So that's what they're trying to do. My guess on silver is they're trying to hold it down for the military and the solar panels, for the industrial use, but there's too much, it's money use that's going to kill that, and they can't control it. So it's just a matter of time till the banks say, hey, I'm not going to waste my time on derivatives, shorting it, that I'm in trouble. So anyway, that was that. So you want to buy a house, huh?
If you're forgetting simple things and mixing up names, you need to know the elephant trick. It brought my memory back.
The housing crash of 2025 isn't just a grim forecast any longer. It's an undeniable catastrophe now unfolding before our very eyes. Across the American landscape, cities that were once booming with prosperity are now tragically submerged, drowning in endless listings, choked by relentless price cuts, and plagued by desperate, panicked sellers. Home values are experiencing an outright collapse, plummeting by a staggering 50 to 80% in the most vulnerable markets. The economic fallout from this devastating downturn is, for countless families, proving to be even more brutal than the dark days of 2008. Builders are openly frantic. Buyers have simply vanished from the market. And investors, once eager to speculate, are now engaged in a frantic race against time, desperate to unload their properties before the entire market implodes completely. From the sun-scorched stretches of suburban deserts to the serene calm of coastal retreats.
Okay, so let's explain. Again, what do you have? You have a market, the price is too high. The market's here and the houses are up here. I do it this way. So if the market's down here, then now people need money, right? And then what do? They sell their assets. So they're going to sell their house. A lot of people bought houses multiple because they thought, oh, we'll just make money on the house. They looked at it as if it was gold or silver, or if it was like Apple stock. Oh, I'll just buy the house and it'll go up, because they're idiots. But not that many buyers, and as they raised interest rates, they priced the housing market too high. So now the housing market's up here, but the buyers are down here, so I can't sell it. So I got to drop my price, but the interest rates are making it higher. So let's say you want to sell it for 500 grand. You got to add 7-8% interest to it. So you're making it like a $5,000 a month payment. Well, got news for you. Most people can't afford that. Most people are down here at maybe 2,500, 3,000, which means you've got to lower it to about 250,000, 300,000, because you got the 7% interest to also add to your payment. So basically, you don't have the buyers. Your price is too high. Don't you love how everything comes back to Adam Smith and Austrian economics? You've got to sell it what the market will bear. The market will not pay 500,000 plus the 7% interest. That's why I don't want you to buy a house now, because it's crashing. So why would you want to buy it now? If you get it cheap, it's still going to crash. I would wait a little bit longer, but that's why you don't want to buy a house now. You're going to buy a house into a market that's going down. Good luck. Why would you do that? Just wait, and then it'll start booming. Well, it won't boom, but it'll settle down, and 500 go down to about 200, because you got to add the 7% interest, which is going to go up, not down. So that's the problem. And then people buying the house as a second or third investment instead of gold and stocks, they bought the house. They bought 5 houses, which they can't afford, and they're trying to unload them. So you have an inventory problem. So now people who don't want 5 houses but bought them as investments are in problems. So you can see the housing market is getting hit. I'm not going to go through the whole video, just to show you prices have dropped 50 to 80%. It's beginning. So if you're going to buy a house, wait, let it drop, then walk in a lot cheaper. I think that's Warren Buffett's little, I'm holding cash because he's seeing this will happen and he's saying, I'll buy a house really cheap. But I'd buy gold anywhere. Landlords panic, breaking U.S. rental market.
There's 4 reasons why most business owners can't scale past $1 million a year and beyond. And they think
Rental prices in the city have been dropping, with some apartments and condos going for hundreds of dollars less than even just a couple of years ago.
7 months of inventory, which is insane. And we just don't have the buyers to absorb it. We haven't seen that much inventory in 20 years.
What if I told you the U.S. rental market, the same market that seemed unstoppable just 2 years ago, is now collapsing faster than most landlords ever thought possible? Rents are dropping, vacancies are surging, and the balance of power has completely flipped from landlords to tenants. This isn't just a small correction. In some areas, it's a full-blown crash. And while some people are still in denial, the signs are everywhere. Stay with me, because what's coming next is going to shock landlords, investors, and even renters who think they've seen it all. For years, landlords called the shots. They could raise rents at will, tenants lined up for showings, and vacancy rates were so low you could rent a property in a single afternoon. But that party is over. Right now, we're witnessing a rapid reversal that I've personally never seen move this fast. Properties that were renting for $2,400 just a year ago are now going for $2,100. That's a 10% drop in just 12 months. And in certain markets, vacancy rates have tripled, going from 3% to as high as 10%. In other words, landlords are going from zero problems filling units to having them sit empty for weeks or even months. I just got off the phone with a property manager in Jacksonville who told me he had to drop the rent on his own property by $100 every single week until it finally rented. Think about that. Every week, $100 less just to get someone in the door. And he's not alone. These kinds of price cuts are happening all over the country, and we're just at the beginning. So what's causing?
Okay, so we know what's causing it. Again, the inflation, you have price. It basically goes down to prices. You're priced too high, and people are losing their jobs because of the inflation. The money's not worth anything, so they have to lower their price. It doesn't matter what his explanation is. The real explanation is buyers are here and you're up here, and you got to come down to that. It works for everything. If you can't sell your house or you can't rent it, it's because the buyers are down here, and usually because too much inventory. So there's not enough buyers for what you're selling. If you're trying to sell 100 units and there's only 50 buyers, you can't keep your price high. You gotta bring the price down. So again, and the bottom line is the inflation, the recession, people getting laid off. They sell their assets. That's one of the reasons the market will crash, as you see the housing market crashing. That's the real. Hey, Real D, how are you today? I mean, that's really the point. It's the market crashes when this doesn't equal. If the market's here, you can't be up here. And maybe you were up here, but the market has less money to spend because of the inflation. All the prices are going up. You add the fucking tariffs into it, and you can't sell a house or rent a house here. You've got to come down to where the market has money, and it's anything. So again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Thoughts on the preseason games yesterday? I thought the Lion game was atrocious. Stopping the game in the fourth quarter because the guy got injured, I thought was terrible. Both teams look like shit anyway. Prime Junior, I don't know. The fact he threw for 2 touchdowns, but it was Carolina, so that's like a high school team. And Baltimore is Baltimore, so I wasn't surprised there. So we know what Baltimore is. That's fine. Indy, why is Daniel Jones playing? But all of a sudden he's going to get good. So I don't know. Detroit was starting to move the ball. Why they stopped the game, I assume because they didn't want it, they wanted it to be a no bet, which means you have to finish the game for Vegas to pay off. Just like the All-Star game in baseball, when they tied, there was no winner, so they didn't pay out. So even though they won the home run derby, you kind of had to bet it'll end in a tie and then pick the team in the home run derby, even though nobody knew they were going to be tied. So we'll get a little bit more today. Kansas City is playing their starters, so if you want to bet on Kansas City today. And I kind of like my bet's Kansas City with Green Bay over. Just I think the Green Bay coach, Malik Willis, is in there, or whoever, they will score points. So I like that over 26. I mean, I know it's 38. I'm over 32. That's a joke. All right, let's see. China dumps U.S. market again. We've seen that where they're dumping bonds. We know that. Let's look at what's going on in Las Vegas.
Don't mix pink salt with lemon and 2 other ingredients if you don't want to donate your entire wardrobe in less than a week.
Hey guys, it's Andrew from the Las Vegas Advisor, reminding you to click on the link in the description box below to get your 2025 Member Rewards coupon book. Food coupons, gambling coupons, all kinds of cool stuff to do in that Member Rewards coupon book. You can also use the code word Andrew for a minus $5 discount off of your Member Rewards book. Link in the description box below. Hi, and welcome to our monthly edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is Thursday. Yes, it's Thursday, August 7th in the year 2025.
That is correct. We got a bunch of news, man.
A lot's going on. First, we're going to be talking about the slowdown.
The slowdown. Over and over, man. I have done, you're seeing it everywhere now, right? I mean, everybody's talking about what's wrong with Vegas.
Yeah.
Because the numbers are bad. And they've been down, like at the Strip in May, it was 5 consecutive months down on the Strip. I believe June was down again. So I think that's 6 consecutive months.
Right.
Maybe the other way around, 5 months or 6. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the numbers don't lie, right?
No. And we've talked about the gouge. We've talked about how it's just more expensive than it's ever been to do anything in Vegas.
And that's a big part of it. But I mean, I've been on, I don't know, maybe a half dozen shows myself. I did a couple in London. I did Inside Edition.
Mm-hmm.
I did KNPR.
Okay.
All of it was about the slowdown. And I say the same thing on both of them. It's a double whammy. The gouge is, well, let's go back to that. First is the economy. And again, I know it's a political hot potato, but it doesn't matter. I don't care what side of, Republican, Democrat, something else you are. There is economic uncertainty right now.
Absolutely.
Because of tariffs and things like that. I'm not saying they're right, they're wrong, or anything else. I'm saying there's economic uncertainty.
Right.
And people are playing it close to the vest with their travel. But the second part is the gouge. You put the two together. It's what they did. And everyone's starting to pick up on that. When I was on KNPR, they're like, ooh, I never heard that. The gouge. I like that, And that's, the prices they're charging, especially on the Strip.
Well, that used to be one of the attractive things to come to Vegas, is that there were certainly high-end hotels, but that there were also breakfast buffets and some really good deals and free nights and comps and, certainly reasons to come to Vegas for inexpensive, value-seeking people.
Yeah, and we've talked about the flip side of that is it's going to be good for the customer because already, another place, Sahara, has rescinded resort fees through the end of summer.
There we go.
So yeah, be a consumer, take advantage of the gouge and, look for places that are trying to take advantage of that and bring in customers.
Well, I also hear a lot of people are going downtown. They're saying, you know what, I'm going to go downtown. I've never tried it. I hear it's fun.
That's always been the play. I don't know how many times I've said this on these shows. Anybody who goes to the center of the Strip and gets gouged, I have no sympathy for them.
Right, because you could do a little research, and if it's the gouge that you're looking to avoid, then just definitely go downtown. Now, along with economic uncertainty comes openings and closings. Is this something related, Anthony? There's a lot of closings going on.
Yeah, more closings than usual.
Okay.
And that'll probably be the meat of this update is all the different places. So What do you want me to do? You want me to go down the list here?
Yeah.
What's going on? The most recent one we just heard is Poker Palace in North Las Vegas.
Now, I'm not aware of that. I've never been.
Way on the far north end of the.
Okay, so he's going to go through what hotels are closing. What's going on in Vegas? Same thing we just talked about, houses and cars and anything else. You're pricing it too much. You're pricing it over your market. Nobody wants to go and stay at Caesars and pay $42 for parking, $150 to watch the football games. There's no poker room anymore. You have somebody help me. Let me see. I did this yesterday and I stayed on. So let's see. Am I still on? Am I still on? Okay. Hopefully we are. So I'm going to assume I'm still on, but I'm. So again, Vegas is pricing themselves out of existence. They're way too expensive. And again, yes, I went to Vegas for value. I could stay, even if I stayed at Caesars, if I went during the week, it was $30, $40. There's no resort fee. The restaurants have gone. Where are the coffee shops that you could, get a burger for $10, or the food court's getting expensive. The shopping's expensive, but they don't, all the gambling's $50 blackjack. What the fuck are they doing? They don't know what they're doing. The people running these casinos are clueless. So they're making it very expensive. And again, people are willing to pay this, and you're making it that. Even the airfare, flying Southwest, they want to charge you to bring a bag on, right? So it's a, let's say $350 to fly there. And then, but if you want to bring up not even a carry-on bag, just a gym bag with clothes in it, it's another $55 each way. So you're adding 110. So you start off with the 300 flights, now 450, and then you add to that the hotel, the taxis up, if you get a rental car, the parking's huge. So you look for casinos that don't have parking fees. So it's ridiculous. I don't know what they're doing. They've sold their casinos to Vanguard and these companies who are charging them rent now, and they're raising the rent on them, and they can't afford it. So they think if I raise, it's like raising taxes to pay off the deficit, only it works in reverse. It goes the other way. So if you raise the cost, if you raise prices on everything, less people go, and they go, I'm not going to go. I'm not going. I was going to go soon. I might go for football, but if you're going to make it this expensive, I don't know why Sahara is not permanently getting rid of the resort fees, where they think everybody's going to pay for the Raider games, that they'll get all this extra money because everybody there is a Raider fan and going to the game. I mean, that's ridiculous. So that's the problem with Vegas. It's way too they're paying for parking, paying for just food in the hotel, if you can even find them open. I remember it used to be 24 hours and stuff like that. And now, like I said, I was at Caesars Thanksgiving a few years ago, and it was 10 o'clock on a Friday, and I couldn't find a restaurant. I had to go across to CVS or Denny's or somewhere to get a hamburger. The food court closes at 8. I don't know what they're doing. This is Vegas, 24-hour? No. So they totally lost the concept of what made them great, which was, again, getting a nice big steak and shrimp at 10 o'clock at night for $5, getting the buffet for $10, $5 blackjack. I mean, they're missing all of that, because when you get the $5 blackjack player or the $5 crap player, they don't know what they're doing, and they're going to lose to you, and you're going to make all this money on the gambling. Oh no, we don't want that. Let's make gambling $50. So what do? You keep people like us away, or we go to casinos we can find $5 blackjack, and nobody's going to play $50 a hand at Caesars. I don't give a fuck. And if you're getting professionals, you don't want those guys playing. the MIT team or some, professional guys who have $1 million. You don't want them. You don't want to play them. They're going to clean you out. So anyway, it's again, prices are over market. Nobody wants to go on this strip and get killed and have that. We're not all billionaires. So I don't know who their market is, but it's no longer the normal person who works, makes a decent living, wants to bet football, wants to play some blackjack. Now he ain't there. Now at Caesars, they got rid of the poker room, so you can't even play poker there. So what am I going to Caesars for? So be careful with that. Here's another Egon one on gold. This is an older one, but I'm playing this again.
We're looking here at a pyramid of global financial liabilities of $2.5 quadrillion. I repeat, $2.5 quadrillion. It's such a big amount that it's almost impossible to comprehend for most of us. But just if you relate it to all the gold in the world held by central banks, that is just $4 trillion. So you have $4 trillion supporting the financial system, which has liabilities of $2.5 quadrillion. So the gold is only 0.15% of world financial liabilities. That is obviously an insupportable situation, and either liabilities in the world will come down, of course, with all the assets in the world, which will also come down when the liabilities come down. And also, of course, the other side of that is that gold will not stay at the current levels of $3,300 per ounce. So we will see an adjustment in coming years, and that will be, in my view, an implosion of the financial system. You have to remember that might sound dramatic to some, but in no period in history has the financial system survived. Every monetary era ends up by money going to zero and the value of debt collapsing. So that has happened for thousands of years, and there's absolutely no reason why it won't happen today either. It's only a question of how long it will take. And as we know, debt in the world now is growing at an exponential rate. Just take the US, the debt level there around 37 trillion is now going up by at least 2 trillion a year, probably more, especially with this new beautiful bill that Trump has just got through Congress. That bill in itself is a dangerous instrument because it makes the rich richer and the poor poorer. And that is, in the long run, what, of course, revolutions are created out of. It is not just happening in the US, it's happening in the rest of the West, in Europe, but that's an unsustainable situation. With so little gold and so much debt, governments and central banks only got one solution. That is what they always do, print more money. But as we know, we can't solve the debt problem by making more debts and printing more money. So we are going to see at some point in the next few years a collapse of the financial system. I know it sounds sensational, but as I said before, it's history. It's always happened. It will happen this time again because all currencies have always gone to zero. So what do investors do to protect their wealth? For the ones who have a little bit of savings at whatever level, you should own some physical gold, you should own some physical silver, you should hold it in a safe place. If you have bigger amounts, it should be in a safe jurisdiction, probably outside the country where you live also, because in history, it's always been wise to be able to escape to your gold when the country you live in gets into problem. And as I said, you must have direct access to your gold yourself. In our view, that's the best way to protect your assets in coming years, because as we know, history tells us the system will not survive as it is today.
You want more energy?
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold, of course, said so. You gotta love Egon. All right, so that's Vegas. So we just talked about housing, and we talked about Vegas and money, and it's all the same. It's the market. There's no market for the dollar. You're printing it. So what you're really doing is you've got this much dollars and this much demand. So again, there's nobody home to buy it. Trump wants to do 100 billion in treasuries. Who the hell is going to buy it? Oh, the Fed will, or he's going to put it on the stable coins, or he's going to fuck the Bitcoiners. We will see. Here's a stoic one on women. I want to show you. We haven't done stoic in a while. It's 4 minutes.
She's still there. She's still there. But something's different. Less warmth, less excitement, less effort. You think, What did I do wrong? Here's the stoic truth. It's not one big mistake. It's the repetition of 9 small ones. The more you do these, the more she drifts. Until she's gone, and you never saw it coming. In this video, I'll show you the 9 behaviors that quietly destroy her respect and attraction, and how to reverse them by stepping into calm, stoic, masculine strength. Because once you become the man who doesn't do these things, she starts seeing you differently. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly, and love doesn't die suddenly either. It fades with every compromise you make against your values, your strength, and your self-respect." These are the 9 mistakes that cause it to fade, and how the stoic man avoids every one of them. 1. Over-texting. You're always initiating, double texting, replying in seconds. You think, "I'm showing interest." She thinks, "Why is he always available?" Desire needs mystery, not constant validation. 2. Agreeing too much. You say yes to everything. You avoid disagreement. You want to be easy to love, but when you never push back, she stops seeing you as a man with a spine. Agreement without backbone breeds boredom. 3. Constant reassurance. Seeking, "Are we okay? Do you still love me? Did I upset you?" Every time you ask for emotional clarity, you place her in the dominant role. The more you need her words to feel secure, the less secure she feels around you. 4. Canceling plans for her. You ditch your gym time, your friends, your work. She didn't ask for that, but you thought it would win her over. In reality, she started seeing you as a man with no center. 5. Giving too much, too soon. Gifts, compliments, full emotional access, before she's earned any of it. You think it shows love. She feels it as weakness. Attraction is built through mutual energy exchange, not one-sided pouring. 6. Ignoring red flags. She's moody, disrespectful, inconsistent, and you just tolerate it, just to keep her around. But deep down, she knows. A man who accepts disrespect can't lead. 7. Explaining yourself too much. You write long texts. You justify every action. You try to clear the air, but every explanation chips away at your power. A stoic man lives by this rule. Say less, mean more. 8. Putting her above your purpose. You stopped building, stopped leading, stopped evolving. Your world began orbiting her. But here's the truth. The second you make her your mission, you lose her admiration. 9. Reacting emotionally to her pullback. She goes distant, you chase. She gives attitude, you argue. She withdraws, you beg. You've taught her one thing. She controls the emotional temperature. That kills polarity, kills attraction, kills leadership. These aren't just bad habits. They're slow leaks in your masculine energy. Over-texting, people-pleasing, explaining, over-giving, tolerating disrespect, begging for reassurance, canceling your purpose. Each time you do one of these things, she feels it, not always consciously, but deep in her gut. She starts to pull back. So what's the stoic answer? Say less, lead more, give less, build more. Let her earn your energy. Because once you stop doing these 9 things, she doesn't just stop losing interest. She starts respecting you again. And that's when love begins to.
So what happened there? So the real trick to the girl is they're emotional. And then they try to, they like you, but they don't know why, because emotionally they're attracted to you. And then they come up with, well, he's got nice hair, or I like his body, or I like he's smart, or he drives a Mercedes or something. And that's how girls are wired. They're wired emotionally, and we're wired logically. So what happens is she falls for you because of the way you are. You're stoic, you're strong, a leader, you're busy. And then you let her in, and then you change your personality to weak. Oh, I better text her. Oh, she didn't respond. I'll text her again. Do you still love me? I don't like the way. No, you've got to be strong and independent on your own. You're going to go to you want to watch football? You watch football. You want to play poker? You play poker. You don't change for her, but she'll respect that. And if you're there and you're just, oh, is everything okay? And I mean, you can ask those, but you've got to be, they want strong confidence in a man. That's what they really want. The looks and the money don't matter as long as you're strong, because they want to be the follower. They don't want to be the leader. But when you start going, is everything okay? Do you love me? And what do you want to do for dinner? And this and that. Then it starts becoming they're the leader. They don't want to lead. They want to follow. So you be strong with the girl. She'll follow you. Once you stop leading and you make her lead, then you're fucked because she doesn't want to lead. So she'll look for a guy she can follow. So it's as simple as that. They're into emotions. There's another one here that could be, I don't know. We'll take a look at this. I won't go all the way, but we'll take a look.
What's up, guys? This is the day of my life as a quant trader. So quant trading means that I use math and
What I'm about to share with you will completely change how you see women, how you interact with them, and most importantly, how successful you become in your relationships. This isn't pickup artist nonsense or manipulation tactics. This is about understanding something fundamental that most men miss completely. Something that women rarely talk about openly, but that drives almost every decision they make when it comes to relationships. I've spent years studying human psychology, relationship dynamics, and gender communication patterns. And what I've discovered is that there's a massive gap between what women say they want and what their actions actually reveal. And once you understand this gap, everything changes. So buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the psychology of attraction, the real reasons behind female behavior, and the secrets that women keep, not because they're trying to deceive you, but because they often don't even realize these truths about themselves. The secret women don't even know they're keeping. Here's the truth that changes everything. Women make decisions with their emotions first, then use logic to justify those decisions afterward. But here's the kicker. They genuinely believe they made those decisions logically from the start. This isn't about intelligence. Women are incredibly intelligent, often more emotionally intelligent than men. But the female brain processes attraction, relationships, and major life decisions through the emotional centers first. The logical processing comes second, as a way to make sense of what they're already feeling. Think about it this way. When a woman says, "I don't know why, but there's just something about him," she's actually revealing the truth. She's attracted first, and then her brain scrambles to find logical reasons why this attraction makes sense. He's funny, he's ambitious, he's kind to animals. These become the explanations for feelings that were already there. But here's where it gets interesting. Women don't want men to know this because it makes them feel vulnerable and unpredictable. Society teaches women that they should be rational, that they should make smart choices, especially when it comes to relationships. Admitting that their heart leads and their head follows feels like admitting weakness. So instead, they present their post-emotion logic as if it was the original decision-making process. I'm attracted to him because he's successful and stable. No, she's attracted to him, period. The success and stability are just the reasons her mind found to justify the attraction. Why this changes everything for men. Once you understand this, you stop trying to logically convince women to be attracted to you. You stop leading with your resume, your accomplishments, your 5-year plan. Those things matter, but they're not what creates attraction. They're what helps her feel good about the attraction that's already there. Instead, you start focusing on creating emotional experiences. You become someone who makes her feel something, whether that's excitement, intrigue, comfort, or challenge. The specific emotion matters less than the intensity and authenticity of the experience. This is why the nice guy approach often fails. Nice guys lead with logic. I would be a great boyfriend because I'm reliable, respectful, and I would treat you well. All of that might be true, but it doesn't create the emotional experience that drives attraction. Meanwhile, the guys who women say they shouldn't be attracted to, but are anyway, they're masters of creating emotional experiences. They're unpredictable. They create tension. They make her feel things. Her logical brain knows she should choose the stable guy, but her emotional brain already chose the one who makes her heart race. The 3 emotional states that drive female attraction. Let me break down the 3 prime emotional states that create and maintain female attraction. Understanding these will revolutionize how you approach
David.
relationships. First, uncertainty and challenge. Women are attracted to men they can't completely figure out. This isn't about being mysterious for the sake of it. It's about maintaining your own depth and complexity. When you're too available, too predictable, too eager to please, you eliminate the uncertainty that keeps attraction alive. This is why playing hard to get works, but not in the way most men think. It's not about being unavailable or disinterested. It's about being someone with your own life, goals, and interests that don't revolve entirely around her. It's about being genuinely busy with meaningful pursuits, not pretending to be busy to manipulate her. Second, emotional stimulation. Women crave emotional variety and intensity. This doesn't mean drama. It means you can take her through different emotional states. You can make her laugh, then shift to deep conversation, then create some playful tension, then show vulnerability. You're comfortable with the full range of human emotion, and you're not afraid to go there with her. Most men stick to 1 or 2 emotional notes, usually either nice and safe or trying to
I'll be right with
impress.
you, David.
But women are emotionally complex creatures who want partners who can match that complexity. Third, security within excitement. Here's the paradox that confuses most men. Women want excitement, but they also want security. They want a man who can be unpredictable and spontaneous, but also reliable and trustworthy. They want someone who challenges them, but also makes them feel safe.
Today we have a phone holder, and it has a 360-degree rotation, and this phone holder is going to
Want someone who challenges them, but also makes them feel.
So you got to be have variety. Lead. You want to be the lead in the relationship, but they always want to make sure you can take care of them. So it's not that they just want your money, but they want to be the follower and, oh, let's do this and let's do that. Who I got winning the Super Bowl? I'll get back to that in a minute. Who do I got winning the Super Bowl? Well, it all depends. It's hard because of the injuries that's going to happen. Who do I think's the best teams? If I go in the AFC, I think obviously Philadelphia. Washington, I don't think has a defense. Nobody in the Central. The 49ers and the Rams, I think, could win. And who's the other? And Tampa, Atlanta. They got to get a better defense. We'll see how Atlanta's defense is with the 2 new defensive ends from Georgia and Tennessee. He could be up there with Penix, but I don't like their coach. So I say it's Philly, the Rams, the Niners. The Vikings need a quarterback. The Packers need a defense. The Detroit needs a defense. So I'd say those 3 or 4. In the AFC, I really like Cincinnati. Obviously, Kansas City, Denver. I'm not crazy about Baltimore. They can't win the big games. So I would say Pitt with Aaron Rodgers could be a real outside chance. We'll have to see how that's going. Buffalo, of course. They're not the favorite, but they did add Boza. That's going to help them. Nobody else in that division. And then the other, Houston, will win the division, but they're terrible. So I think the top in the AFC is Kansas City, Denver, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and maybe Baltimore. Joe Burrow's not gonna go easy this year, and he's a winner, unlike Lamar. So I could see them getting there. And again, the AFC, I'd have to go Philly. Washington needed that defense, and we'll see if McLaurin plays. Again, Atlanta and Tampa, but I don't think they're Super Bowl teams. They're good teams with Penix, and I think the Niners and San Francisco, the Niners and the Rams. How about that? So I think the Rams are a little stronger. We'll see. And then what did I leave off? That's it. So probably Philly, Atlanta, Tampa just a little bit under, Detroit, Green Bay a little bit under, and then the Niners and the Rams. So those 5 or 6 teams is about it. Got to go to the quarterback. I mean, KC's playing their starters today. Burrow and Chase played yesterday. They're serious. Detroit's not serious. They don't play their players because they're afraid they're going to get hurt. And if somebody gets hurt, they quit. They take the ball and go home. Oh, my God, Joe Blow got hurt. We got to quit. We can't play anymore. Strangest game I've ever seen. Cincy's defense is better than you think. They added a defensive end in the draft and a cornerback. I know their defense isn't that good, but the reason I'm picking them is Burrow and Chase, and then you've added Tajay Brooks from Texas Tech, who's a 1,600-yard running back. What does that do? It gives balance for Burrow and Chase. They got a running attack, and it allows the defense to sit down. And I think they'll be a little bit better this year. I think they signed Hendrickson or whatever. So it's not that bad, but yes, I know what you're saying. And that they're kind of like a 1B. But they can beat Kansas City. They're the only ones who can. Buffalo with Josh Allen, I don't know. We got to see how Bosa does. He's always hurt. So that would be, Buffalo. So maybe KC and Buffalo. Then I think it's Cincinnati and Denver, and Baltimore's kind of there, but not. Nobody in the South. San Diego's, I don't like Harbaugh. And then what else? So Pitt, maybe. Pitt's a little bit lower than Cincinnati. I think Cincy wins the division. Then you got Baltimore and Pitt because of Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. And DK Metcalf said this is the best defense I've ever seen. I don't think he was there for Legion of Boom, but when you say that, then you have a chance with Aaron Rodgers and Metcalf. So Pittsburgh, Cincy, Baltimore, you could see those teams getting to the Super Bowl. They get hot. KC's played those 3 extra games for the last 3 years. It's got to catch up with them, or the injuries. And to really answer your question, we'll have to see what the injuries happen. If these injuries happen, who gets injured? I mean, so if everybody stays healthy, then I think you still got to give the edge to Mahomes, with Allen and Burrow right behind him as the best 3 quarterbacks. So that's the key. Philly just has too much defense. They took all my Georgia guys from the 7-point year, and now look at them winning Super Bowls. So laugh at me if you dare when I say take the Georgia players. You think Denver might win the division? I think they could win the division. Bo Nix is good. I love Sean Payton. Can Bo Nix get to the next level and compete with Mahomes? They had him beat last year. I think they lost by a point or 2 in the game at Kansas City. They've got a very good defense, and they picked up Greenlaw from the Niners. I just love Sean Payton, and Bo Nix is so underrated, and they got the running back from Notre Dame last year. So if you can get balance on the offense, they have a great defense, and you have a great coach, and you play mile high, that's going to give you a lot of wins because of the altitude. I think Denver could beat Kansas City. I don't know if they will, But I just think KC is going to have a hard year, not only with a dangerous schedule, but the fact that they've been to the Super Bowl 3 times in a row, and it's got to take its toll. You see it. You just see it when the team wins. Now they didn't win it. Just a Philly, they won the championship, but Kansas City, okay, they won it 2 in a row, then they lost it. So they're kind of pissed that they lost it, even though they played all the extra games getting there. So it's a tough one. We'll keep an eye on it. Depending on what the odds are, I don't like making those type of bets because of the injury thing, right? So if I bet KC to win the Super Bowl or Philly to repeat, Barkley gets hurt, I'm fucked, and I bet it. So and you can bet this halfway through the season. I've done that before. So you can bet those later. Anyway, that's what you're looking for. So it's a tough one, but if you want to look at Kelsey's not the same. Well, it's the whole team. Didn't they lose some defense and stuff like that? So I'm struggling with teams going 4 times in a row to the Super Bowl. I just don't buy that. Even though they did replace some defense, it's Mahomes, who's healthy, who's great. He's the best, but Joe Burrow looks I think since he's really pissed, and I think you're going to see that. I think the defense will be okay. And I know what you're saying. They don't look good, but I do think, are they an over team or an A team? I don't know yet. Buffalo, I think, probably gives KC the Buffalo. And since, like I say, it's KC, then it's Buffalo, Cincinnati, and even Pittsburgh possibly with Aaron Rodgers. He ain't that bad. He didn't look that bad the last half of the year. The other year he hurt his Achilles. So what are you going to do? But I think he's on. He can have a rare double, winning at Green Bay and winning at Pitt, both the 2 prominent championship teams through the decades. So he has that chance. I think doesn't need the money. Wouldn't have come back. He picked Pittsburgh because he's got DK Metcalf. So as long as they stay healthy, they got Johnson, the running back from Iowa, and a killer defense apparently, and they're pissed. So Pitt and Cincinnati are pissed off. Baltimore just keeps choking. Buffalo, yes, they could be there, but I don't know if KC does. Denver could take them. So it's this is a call out now. We'll see how the rookies play. The same thing, just like Atlanta and Tampa. If I go NFC, it's Philly and the Niners and the Rams are the best 3. Detroit, they're going to cry because of injuries, and Minnesota has no quarterback, and Green Bay doesn't have that great defense. And then Atlanta and Tampa Atlanta added the 2 defensive ends. They could be a sleeper. Penix is fantastic, and they got Bijan Robinson, and they got receivers. They got an offense. They need a coach. Tampa is okay, but I don't like their coach, and we'll see how strong they are. But they could be there. That's how I view it, and we'll see. Let's get through the preseason, and we can revisit this. We can revisit this each week or every couple of weeks. Who do I see winning it? But again, you can't look at one game. Like if Ohio State blows out Texas, you can't say, Ohio State's going to win it. And if Texas blows out Ohio State, you can't say Texas is going to win it. You got teams called Georgia and Alabama you got to worry about. So, yeah, Kelsey's not the same. All he does is play basketball. Everybody plays these stupid zones. So all he does is kind of run out a little bit and then look for the soft spot. And Mahomes is looking at it, and they're on sync. So they throw it to him. He kind of boxes out. So you got to come over his back, and he catches the ball, basically. He's no George Kittle. He's no Antonio Gates, just got in the Hall of Fame. He's nowhere near that guy. But those are big basketball power forwards. So they know how to get space, and they know how to block out. I think more football players should do basketball now and work on that. All right. So I hope that answers it, David. So we pretty much covered the stoic here. This is what it's called. So we understand stoic. We want to be strong and confident. The money would be nice, and everything else, decent manner. Treat your girls nicely. But girls want somebody when they get in a car accident, they say, I got in a car accident, and you say, oh, that's okay. That's okay. We'll be fine. Not somebody who yells at them. That's the quickest way to get rid of a girl is to yell at her. And I think sometimes to end a relationship, the girl yells at the guy or the guy yells at the girl because they really want somebody else. So the girls, they're emotional. So we understand that. They look at you, they like you. Could be your personality, could be because you're stoic, could be because you're nice looking. But that's kind of what a little false. So that wears off. So you see a hot girl, that wears off too. So it's got to be good to be with, not necessarily funny, but a good personality and somebody that really cares for you and you care for them. And I think that's the key. But you've got to be the lead in the relationship. That's kind of what they're saying. So here's Trump.
Okay, I gotta show you this. It looks like a regular laptop stand right, but wait for it, this thing is bridges in Florida. Countries like Canada. Can you believe it? The U.S. now wants tourists to put down as much as $15,000 just to visit. Not to live here, not to work, just to come for a short trip. That's the new plan. The Trump administration claims this will help control immigration by forcing visitors to pay massive upfront cash bonds. But here's the thing. People are already avoiding the U.S. travel. Here is expensive. The rules are complicated, and the experience often feels unwelcoming. And now this?
Canadian Airlines are taking away flights to popular U.S. cities. This after many Canadian vacationers apparently are avoiding the U.S. entirely.
But tourism to the U.S. is on the decline. The U.S. is set to lose $12.5 billion because of it. Traveler spending here is already down 22.5%. That's from last year.
Instead of addressing the real issues, the administration is squeezing more money out of a tourism industry that's already shrinking. It's like charging people to join a party that no one's showing up to in the first place. Not long ago, Trump tried to block Chinese students from entering the country, and it blew up in his face. The backlash was so strong, the policy was quietly rolled back. Now we're seeing the same playbook. Zambia and Malawi are among the first countries affected. Mexico and several South American nations are already under tighter restrictions, and more could be added soon. Meanwhile,
Okay, so what does this really mean? We're broke. Trump's going after anything he can to get money in because we got a $37 trillion debt. We got another $60 trillion in Social Security and Medicare that he has to print money for. And he's got to pay the interest on the debt of the $37 trillion. And then he's got to pay for all the government employees that he can't afford. Like I say with the ice cream store, if you have enough revenue to pay for 3 employees and you have 10, where do you get the money to pay the other 7 employees? You can't. You got to lay them off. So this shows you that they're bankrupt. The U.S. is bankrupt, and this is what they're trying to do to get money. Just like the stable coin is a way that it's going to go towards bonds. If you buy the stable coin, it'll go to this $100 billion bond treasuries that he wants to do. Guy's out of his mind. Just go gold. So if we have gold, why aren't we using it? That's the other thing. If you're into the stock market, you got to be careful because what's happening in Vegas, they're going bankrupt. Caesars, Bellagio, that nobody can't even go to Vegas, right? So we saw how expensive Vegas was, but now add the fact that nobody can even fly there. They're gonna, now this is not every country. This is misleading. This is military countries, the Middle East, Latin America a little bit. So it's not people coming from France. It's got to pay 15,000. So basically, the richer countries who have money, then they're not going to pay a tariff. It's going to be the poorer countries who maybe have things. Is it really a defense thing so we don't let terrorists in? I don't know about that. You shouldn't let them in. You shouldn't give a visa. You should do a background check and say he's a killer. Yeah, we better not have him in. But again, this is another thing of what are you doing? It's just like the tariffs. The tariffs will not work because you end up making costs go too high over market. Again, everything comes back to what is the market bear? You must be conscious of the market. You can only sell and charge so much, right? I can't charge $500 for Canadian Club 12-year. I can charge $50, maybe $75. But if you raise my cost to $100, I can't just go ahead and charge $125 or $150. People will not pay it. The market does not allow that. And that's what you've got to understand. What will people pay for this? Houses, we saw rentals, they're way too high. And you're seeing now travel, Vegas, too expensive. Cars, too expensive. The markets will collapse in cars and houses. Bitcoin, is that too expensive? Hell yes. Give me a hell yes, Stone Cold. All right, so let's go. I want to show you this one video on Bitcoin.
The Fed is hinting. The Fed just.
Okay, so I've never seen this girl, but it's a Bitcoin video. So we get the other side. So we wonder what the hell are they buying? Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme. So Trump is wanting to tax gold, which I don't believe, even if you don't sell it. First of all, he doesn't even know if you have it. Secondly, you can't, I'm not going to do a 1099 if I hold it. Can't do that. And it's not really registered anywhere. If you got 100 ounces of gold in your house, nobody knows you have it. I'm not going to do a 1099. So I don't know what this girl is. I've never heard this. This is obviously not 1 day old because she's got 54,000 views. This is the other thing that frustrates me here. You have 50 in 1 day, you got 54,000 views. I don't think so. So this is like a couple months old, and then they redo it. They say, oh, it's a day old. So I've never heard this, that Trump's going to do this anyway.
Low-key dropped a playbook to sell gold and buy Bitcoin. And nobody's talking about it. Okay, this is not from a Bitcoin bro on Twitter. This is from the Federal Reserve. And they just published a research note that casually explains how a country can tap gains on its gold reserves without selling an ounce. And right after that, they mentioned Bitcoin. Not a joke, not a rumor. It's right there. Translation: the US government just laid out a stealth playbook. Revalue gold, unlock capital, use that capital to stack Bitcoin. This is how you pivot the financial system without admitting that you're doing it. Sailor's been screaming it. Senator Loomis proposed it. Now it's in Fed literature. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss the greatest wealth transfer of our lifetime. Welcome back. I'm Sophie. And by the end of the show today, you'll understand why 250K Bitcoin isn't optimistic. It's conservative. Send it.
We hold them at about a 1974 value, which was, I don't know, $46 an ounce or some such thing, and then bring them to market value and then use that to buy Bitcoin.
Sell all the U.S. gold, buy Bitcoin, then the trade is free because you could buy 5 million Bitcoin for the cost of the gold. You will demonetize the entire gold asset class, and our enemies hold gold in their banks, so their assets would go to zero. Our assets would go to $100 trillion, and we would control the world's reserve capital network as well as the world's reserve currency network.
Could you sell?
What the fuck did he just say? So wait, so we're gonna change gold to Bitcoin, and that'll zero out Russia and China's gold. This guy on drugs? I mean, I just wanted to show you. I stumbled on it. I think this is the stupidest video, and that was the stupidest explanation I've ever heard. You're not going to 1099 gold if I didn't sell it. I don't have to do a 1099. Even if I do sell it, I don't have to do a 1099. You're going to revalue it. Great. So if I revalue it and it's worth a lot, I'm going to buy Bitcoin with it, which is not real. See, again, this is Madoff here, this sailor guy. And then the congresswoman doesn't even know what she's talking about. It's not anything, and this has to be months old. So I'm really confused by this.
About the gold in Fort Knox to buy Bitcoin? Can we? Is that possible?
Well, if it's budget neutral and doesn't cost the taxpayer a dime,
You kind of exchanging one for the other.
we'll see whatever creative ideas that we can come up with. And, like I said, with all the interagency working group actors that will convene in these meetings, I mean, we're going to hear some tremendous ideas about how we could do it. I just don't want to box us in yet to what that actually looks like, because I want to be able to hear from everybody.
Okay, let's actually talk about this Federal Reserve bombshell because the headlines aren't doing it justice. This is from their latest note. Several countries have unlocked billions by revaluating their gold reserves without selling a single ounce. This mechanism has been discussed in the context of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Translation: here's how we could tap into gold to stack more Bitcoin if we needed to. And the gold bugs, they're flipping. ECR Minerals, a gold mining company, just
Okay, I can't take any more of that. But how are you stacking Bitcoin? It's a computer chip. It's not real. You can't stack it. I can stack gold. I can't stack Bitcoin. It's not a coin. It's not real. So I'm not going to waste our time anymore. But I saw that. I thought this was the stupidest thing I've ever. Let's read some comments. No bank can compare to Mavloxi's yield. I get more in 1 week than banks give in a year. I don't know. A gold revaluation looks like a slam dunk. Either the U.S. does it quickly or the market does it slowly. One way or another, it's coming. Not sure I agree with the premise that gold needs to be sold, though. In fact, quite the opposite. I am a full-on Bitcoin, but by the mechanism by which the U.S. can revalue gold and buy Bitcoin does not mean having to sell gold. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Why would you sell gold to buy Bitcoin? And, just so Michael Saylor can make money. I mean, that's what it sounds like. So I don't know. Seems kind of weird, but nobody's selling gold to buy Bitcoin. And as Egon said, Bitcoin can go to 1 million, it can go to zero. It's not worth anything because the bottom line is the dollar doesn't have a value. And this is what everybody keeps missing, that point. You can make money in stocks and real estate and all this other. The bottom line is if you hold this, it's not worth anything. It's gone. It's 99% gone. I'm saying 100. So if the money's not worth anything and you have more money, what does that make? What good is it? So I don't smell what she's cooking there. So that's it. Let's just look at our baseball again. We've got Houston. We've got Milwaukee, Philadelphia under 7.5, Boston over 7.5, and Cleveland and Seattle both on streaks. The games I didn't bet, but I like California, Oakland over 9, and Toronto. Preseason football, I had Detroit over with the Rams. I have Tampa Bay and San Diego. I have Kansas City as their starters are playing, and Green Bay over. And I actually had Oakland, Cleveland, and I changed it to Cincinnati. I should have stuck with Oakland, Cleveland. Prime Junior. Prime Junior's not that good. We'll see him in a more meaningful game. Again, everybody else was injured. That's why he did it. I don't know how good he looked or if it was just bullshit playing 4 stringers. Anyway, we'll see, but I don't think if Dion plays, we're betting against him, or Prime Junior. I think that's it. Anything else? Questions, comments? So a lot going on with this. we'll learn a lot more what's going on. But Trump just shows you where the country's broke. He's got to start charging people $15,000 to enter. Now, right now, it's just a few countries, but that's what they don't say. It's like, oh, anybody that comes in. No, it's just certain, Middle East countries, probably terrorist type people like that. But again, they don't say that in the title. I wouldn't worry about them. I do think they'll revalue gold, but I don't. They're not going to tax it. They can't tax it. They're going to tax my mantle card because I have it. I haven't sold it. What am I going to tax it at? We don't know the price. So that's what's going on. So, again, keep the preseason. They're just, I don't know. Mostly the third stringers are trying because they want to make the team. The fourth stringers, I don't know what they're out there for. And if you think the practices are better than these preseason games, so the practice of Chicago playing Green Bay in a practice is more beneficial than them playing it in a preseason game, you're out of your mind because it's controlled and nobody hits. The quarterback's got to get used to pressure. Look at Sam Darnold. That really helped him having these practices, didn't it? You got into a game and the guy's coming at you and he's never been there before. And the same thing with golf. Golf gets in and he gets pressure and he throws picks. Did it against Houston, did it against Buffalo, did it against Washington. That's why you need him playing in the preseason game, getting used to that. And if you don't, you'll never win anything. Then you just have a loser mentality. I don't want to get the players hurt. And the Tigers schoolball. Oh, we don't want to get them hurt. Anyway, so that's sports. Some stoic today. Gold. We saw Mark McGuire. Look for gold to go better. Maybe I'll replay Mark McGuire tomorrow with. I can explain it better. He doesn't really explain why it's being stuck at 3,400, 3,500, but I think this is just their last shot and it's going to start moving up. Again, you can't just look at it, by the end of the week, gold will be 4,000. No, but it's coming there. The boat's sinking. We don't know when, but we know it is. The water's coming in, it's going to sink. And that's how it is. Gold is going to go up. The dollar is collapsing. And they can play games with it. They can bullshit around with the stock market. We know that's 43,000 is a joke. Bitcoin at 100 and what is it, 120? Oh, no, 110. Oh, no, 115. Yeah, what's the value of it? And it's all, Trump's buying it, Larry Fink's buying it, and the sailors buying it. The three fucking Madoffs are buying it. So I don't know, losing a lot of respect for Trump. I think he's out of his mind. He's only going to meet Putin for a PR stunt. They can't end the war. If Trump wanted to end the war, he'd stop sending arms to the Ukraine, but it shows Trump is not in charge. The person in charge of the U.S. government is not Netanyahu from Israel. He's in charge. He stole the 9/11 gold. That's what 9/11 was about. It was a gold robbery. And now it's crystal clear the Israelis were the ones behind it and stole the money. Then they easily blame the Egyptians or whoever. But they stole the gold. It was a gold robbery. That's all it was. Because the buildings came down. They were detonated. They weren't. Yeah, well, let's say it's the oil from the planes. It got hot. No, that wouldn't crash it. And believe me, when you're making the building, you're making it wind resistance, and if it got hit by something, that it wouldn't collapse. Those buildings were collapse proof, unless you detonated them. Like the Stardust, where you boom, 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 and it came down. But if you didn't do that, you could never collapse the building like those are made. Like I was watching the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, was it 4, where they go to Dubai, and I'm looking at that building, and you're like, you know how windy it gets there and everything. There's no way that hotel could fall. Nothing. There's no way. It's important, but the Twin Towers, yeah, they if a plane hit them. What if a plane hits the building in Dubai? It's not going anywhere. Anyway, it's just all bullshit. So be careful. You got to be careful who you listen to. Do not run and buy stocks if you're trying to preserve your wealth. If you are trying to make money on stocks at this point, or houses or cars or anything like that, you have to have an idea. Okay, I'm in now, and when it hits this, I'm going to sell. Oh no, it's going to keep going up. It's going to crash. I guarantee it. So if you want to play around and lose money, I'm sorry, you're going to lose money, because there's going to be a point that JP Morgan, everybody's going to tank it. It's going to short it. They're going to profit take it. Again, it goes up and down based on Larry Fink going in and buying it, and then he sells it. So don't kid yourself. You don't understand stocks. It's a very manipulated and fixed game. And it's a game I would not recommend playing. The only game I want to play is gold and silver, because I'm in control there, or poker. All right, well, have a very good day. Good luck watching the games. We'll talk about them tomorrow. And that's about it. www.teaserking.com. David, Real D, Luke, Nick, everybody else, have a nice weekend. Enjoy. All right, take care. Oh, I'm on day 3 of my fast. I'm not even counting hours anymore. It's highly unlikely I will eat tonight, but I will probably go get my Chinese. I did make my chicken last night, so my chicken's all made, ready to eat, but I'm not. I'm like, no, I still can't get into my fast. I might not eat for a week. No, I'll definitely eat tomorrow, but I've never done 96, 100 hours before. The most is 70. And I'll be at 70 at about 5 o'clock, and it's 1:30 now. So we will see. Anyway, I've been walking the lake. I've been able to go farther, and I need that. And then I do my swimming also. So I need the double exercise to lose weight too. And then just don't eat. I should lose a few pounds. I was looking at old pictures of myself. I go, God, your stomach wasn't, there's like little handles. It's like, what the fuck's going on? I've been good for 5 years. All of a sudden, but I'm stopping it right now. That's how you do it. You see it's getting heavy, you stop it, and you kill it right now. That's what I'm doing. 3 or 4 days of fast, and I won't touch sweets or any pop or anything for months, and go from there. Anyway, have a great night. Enjoy and take care. All right, www.teaserking.com. And I hope I got the full show.